Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to go through a story of the creation of this snare drum. This is a one of a kind. This was the original shell that Red Rock Drums made for me as a prototype. It has the Jarrah and then the Mahogany. So we've got 4 Jarrah staves and then we've got the Mahogany um, remainder of staves. And it's got more of a rounded over edge. We've got the throw off right there. And this is actually a floor tom snare drum. Red Rock Drums have come to call it a flare, but this was the first one they made. This is the first floor tom snare drum. Now, it was a prototype. It was given to me to look over, so I could confirm the design. And basically, I didn't know what to do with it. Make it a tom, a floor tom, or make it a snare drum. I wasn't too sure. So one day I had it up on a table. I was just storing it there, and I bumped it off the table, and the shell actually split. So you'll see here next to this seam, there's actually a line going down through there that was the split. So the shell had broke, and I thought it was the idea was all over, that the shell was finished and everything else. I called up Matt from Red Rock Drums and I said, look, sorry, I dropped the shell and it's cracked. And he said, no worries at all. Bring it into the warehouse and we'll have a look at it and see what happened. So it was actually a really good experience because we all learned a lot from it. It basically had split through the stave and not through the joint. So if it had a split through the joint, it would have indicated that the glue had failed or something in the construction process. But it was actually the timber itself. So the joins were perfect, and Matt was very happy that the joins didn't fail. And to my knowledge, I haven't failed in any Red Rock drum, and I've got probably 15 of them. But this was just one of those things that fell off a table on the perfect angle to split the shell. So I took it in. Roger from Red Rock Drums worked on it, glued it all up, resanded, refinished, basically created what feels like a new drum. Then it comes time to decide what to do with it. So basically, I said, all right, well, let's make this a snare drum. Do 14 by 12 snare drum. We can tune it down for ballads, the 80s kind of stuff, or we crank it right up and let's do some marching snare drum stuff. And it was really one of those drums where we learned a lot regarding tuning, what the drums could do, how they sounded, high pitch, low pitch, looser snares, everything in between. So this drum has actually been really, really cool to have. And I use it as a second snare drum. There's some 90s sounds and 80s sounds. Also, some Fleetwood Mac stuff sounds really cool on this. Any Whitesnake songs as well with a big verb sound. This does it by itself. You don't need to add any effects. So it's a really, really awesome drum. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to reassemble this, and we'll come back to it when I'm putting the new top head on it. All right, it's time to put the new drum head on the 14 by 12. So I'm going for the Remo color tone. These are their green heads. I've got the purple on the toms and green on the snares. So trying something new completely. So we'll throw the drum head on, as I've said in the previous video, logo and logo. That way, when you're positioning the kit, you know where that's facing as well. And it also helps when you're tuning to do your diagonal patterns on that. Okay, so it's time to put the top head on the 14 by 12 snare drum. So this is a snare drum that's on legs. Out at Red Rock Drums, we call this the flare drum. Now, to my knowledge, there's only 2 that's been made. It's this one here, and there's one for the owner of Red Cymbals. He has a beautiful flare drum to the left. It's a little bit shorter than this one, I think, but it is a 16 wide, where this is your 14. Now, I've gone and put on green heads. They'll be on my snare drums, and I've gone for the purple heads on the toms. So we're just going to put this back together. We'll do the top head, and then once this is on, we're actually going to refit the snare wires on the bottom of the drum. So all right, we're back now, and we've got the 14x12 all tuned up. So we changed the top head to the green color tone by Remo. Our Red Rock Drums logo at the front. So you're probably wondering, what's a 14x12 snare drum or flare drum actually sound like? Get our green head on there. What's it actually going to sound like? You're going to have to tune in to the next video, and I'll go through the whole tuning range. Thanks for joining. See you next time.